You're sending out applications. Dozens, maybe hundreds. You're qualified. You know your stuff. So why isn't anyone calling you back? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your resume is failing the 6-second test. Recruiters spend about 6 seconds scanning a resume before deciding. 6 seconds. If they don't see what they need instantly, you're in the reject pile. And no amount of clever formatting or personality-packed summaries will save you. The resume that actually gets interviews does one thing incredibly well. It answers the exact questions a hiring manager is asking in the exact order they're asking them. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's break down what that actually looks like. Start with your name. That's it. No objective section where you tell them you're seeking a challenging position to grow your skills. They know why you're applying. Save the space. Then a simple technical skills list. Languages, frameworks, tools, just the facts. No proficiency ratings like expert in Java. Either you can code in it or you can't. Let your experience show the depth. Next is your professional experience. This is where most people go wrong. They list responsibilities. Worked on back-end services. Collaborated with cross-functional teams. Participated in agile ceremonies. Nobody cares what you were supposed to do. They care what you actually did. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Here's a real before and after from a senior engineer's resume I reviewed last month. Before, responsible for maintaining the payment processing system and fixing bugs as needed. Attended daily stand-up meetings and participated in sprint planning. Helped onboard new team members. After, reduced payment processing latency by 67% through database optimization, saving the company $180,000 annually in infrastructure costs. Led the migration from a monolithic architecture to microservices, improving deployment frequency from once monthly to daily. Mentored 4 junior engineers, 3 of whom promoted to senior within 2 years. Same person, same experience. But which one gets the interview? The first describes a job description. The second describes impact. Here's the formula. What you built, who used it, what it achieved. Every bullet should tell a story of value created. Let's break down that formula even more. What you built, be specific. Payment processing system is vague. Customer-facing payment API handling 50M in monthly transaction volume is specific. Built a React dashboard could mean anything. Built a real-time analytics dashboard processing 1 million events per second using WebSocket and Redis tells me exactly what you did. Who used it, this adds context and scale. Internal tool for 5 people. Customer-facing feature used by 100,000 daily active users. Infrastructure component that every other service depends on. The scope tells me the level of complexity you handled. What it achieved, this is where you prove your value. Did it increase revenue, decrease costs, improve reliability, speed up development, help users succeed? Pick the metric that mattered to the business. Before, developed user interface components for the e-commerce checkout flow and worked with designers to implement responsive designs. After, built checkout flow components that increased conversion rate by 15. Here's another example. A front-end developer's bullet, rewritten. % generating an additional $2.3 million in annual revenue. Implemented responsive designs that improved mobile checkout completion by 22%. Collaborated with UX team to A/B test 4 variations, identifying the optimal layout through 50,000 user sessions. See what happened? We took a generic statement about doing the work and turned it into a story about business impact. The second version tells me this person understands that their code exists to serve business goals. That's the kind of engineer who gets hired. Now let's talk about the project section. If you're early career or switching industries, this section is your lifeline. But don't just list GitHub repos that haven't been touched in 2 years. Showcase 2 or 3 substantial projects, not 20 half-started tutorials. 2 finished, deployed things you're genuinely proud of. Problem: wanted to understand which programming skills were most in demand in my city, but existing job aggregators didn't filter by location or skill level. What you built: web scraper collecting 10,000 job postings. For each, the problem you solved, the tech stack, and a live link or GitHub URL. Here's what a strong project entry looks like. Daily across 3 major job boards with NLP-based skill extraction and geographic filtering. Front-end built with React and TypeScript, back-end in Python using FastAPI, deployed on AWS Lambda. Who used it? Initially used by 50 members of my local developer meetups. Shared on Hacker News, reached 5,000 weekly active users within 2 months. What it achieved: helped 200 developers identify skill gaps and land new roles. Featured in a tech blog with 50,000 subscribers. Personally received 3 job offers from recruiters who found the project impressive. That's one project. It tells me you can ship real software, handle infrastructure, solve user problems, and market your work. One project like this beats 20 unfinished tutorials. But here's where people sabotage themselves. Lying. Don't do it. Not even little exaggerations. Led a team when you were just the most senior person on the project. Architected the system when you implemented someone else's design. Increased revenue by 20% when the feature you worked on was one of 15 changes that happened simultaneously. Recruiters verify. Technical interviewers probe. The moment you can't defend what's on your resume, you're done. I've seen it happen. A candidate claims to have led the migration to Kubernetes. The interviewer asks, "What was the hardest part of the migration strategy?" The candidate freezes. They implemented the migration. They didn't lead it. Trust evaporates. The interview ends. Your actual experience, told honestly, is enough. It really is. You don't need to inflate it. The right company will value what you've actually done. Now let's talk about tailoring. Most people send the exact same resume to every job. That's a mistake. You don't need to rewrite your entire resume for each application. But you should highlight the experience that matters most for this specific role. Applying for a backend role? Move your database, API, and infrastructure work to the top of your experience section. Front-end projects can move down or get condensed. Applying for a front-end role? Lead with your React, Vue, or Angular work. Your back-end contributions can be one consolidated bullet. Applying for a leadership position? Your mentoring, project leadership, and cross-functional collaboration should feature prominently. The sequence matters. Remember the 6-second scan? Put what they're looking for first, so they see it immediately. For a back-end heavy role, you might reorder and emphasize like this: built RESTful APIs handling 10 million requests daily, keep optimized database queries reducing response time 60%, keep led. Microservices migration improving deployment frequency, expand, add detail, mentored 3 junior engineers who all promoted, keep, shows leadership, developed React components for checkout flow. Here's an example of how this works. Let's say you're a full-stack engineer with 5 years of experience. Your resume has 10 bullets across 3 roles. Condensed to 1 bullet. Built front-end features using React and TypeScript. For a front-end focused role, you'd flip that emphasis. The content doesn't change much, but what catches the eye in 6 seconds does. What about those fancy resume templates with graphics and colors and sidebar layouts? They're worse than useless. Most companies run resumes through ATS software that parses them into structured data. Fancy layouts break parsers. Your carefully crafted resume turns into garbled text or gets rejected entirely. I've seen it. A candidate with perfect experience gets rejected because their 2-column layout confused the parser. Their name got parsed as a phone number. Their skills section got merged into their job titles. The ATS filtered them out before a human ever saw the resume. Simple, clean, single-column layouts are what works. Times New Roman or Arial. Plenty of white space. Clear section headings. Let your content stand on its own. And length, 1 page. 2 if you have 10+ years of relevant experience. Never 3. If you can't decide what to cut, you haven't thought hard enough about what actually matters. Here's the deeper truth about why most resumes fail. It's not just formatting or bullet points, it's that most people approach resumes like a documentation exercise. They're trying to create a comprehensive record of everything they've ever done. Every project, every responsibility, every technology they've ever touched. It becomes this bloated document that says everything and nothing at the same time. But a resume isn't documentation, it's marketing. You're not an archivist of your own career, you're a marketer, and the product is you. Good marketing is about sacrifice. You choose a message, and you cut everything that doesn't support that message. Apple doesn't tell you every technical specification of their processor. They tell you it's fast, and they show it doing cool things. That's the level of focus you need. Writing a resume that works means making hard choices about what to leave out. That project you're really proud of but doesn't fit the role? Cut it. That internship from 8 years ago? Unless it's directly relevant, cut it. Those 20 technologies you touched once in a weekend hackathon? Cut them. Every line you cut makes every remaining line stronger. Every bullet you remove makes the ones that stay pop more. This feels wrong. Our instincts tell us that more is better, that we should show everything we've done. But in a 6-second scan, more is just noise. The signal gets buried. Here's what I've observed after reviewing hundreds of resumes. The strongest ones are often the shortest. A recent grad with 1 powerful project beats the candidate with 20 half-finished tutorials. A mid-career engineer with 5 carefully chosen impact bullets beats the one with 15 generic responsibility statements. Focus wins. This week, do one thing. Take your current resume and rewrite every bullet under your experience section using the impact formula. What you built, who used it, what it achieved. Cut anything that doesn't fit. Then send it to 5 people in your field. Ask, in 6 seconds, can you tell what I do and how well I do it? If they hesitate, rewrite it again. A great resume isn't about you. It's about the person reading it. Make their job easy, and they'll make your career happen. Comment below which resume myth took you the longest to unlearn, and if this helped you see resumes differently, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.